Good evening. I'm opening the meeting of the Bristol Township Planning Commission. I'd like to invite our viewing audience and those in attendance, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you remain standing, to keep in mind our troops who are in harm's way, our prisoners of war, our killed in action, our missing in action, for all those suffering from these terrible wars, tragedies, and disasters, the children who were separated from their parents, any personal intentions you may have. Thank you. And again, good evening and welcome. We have a couple items on our agenda. The first is the consideration of the September 2nd, 2025 Planning Commission meeting minutes. Commissioners, you have copies of those minutes. You've had an opportunity to review them. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, Commissioners. The next item on our agenda are consideration to recommend the council designate the following residential properties as blighted. Bob?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Bo Fleming. I am the Building and Planning Supervisor here for Bristol Township. I also run the blight program here. As always, I do have packets for you individuals I will bring up. This way you could follow along.
Thanks, Bo.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so as tonight, I will be presenting 3 homes. As always, we started in 2015, this program. We had 204 vacant properties in Bristol Township. As today, we have 21 on our list. Of that 21, I would say around 10 are in motion. When I say in motion, are either in the process of being rehabbed, in ownership of the Redevelopment Authority of Bucks County, or in process with the owner getting the home taken care of. Tonight we will be presenting 3 homes. First one's going to be 2307 Aracoba Street in Levittown. Yeah, I'm gonna need you, Kurt. This property is owned by Anna Marie Pollard since 1971. We have dealt with this property for code enforcement aspects on and off for probably the past 3 years. This home was abated by the Building and Planning Department as well after being found guilty in court for multiple nuisance violations. We stickered the blight process letter in July of this year. I've had no contact with any owner to date. There are no utilities at the property. The home is uninhabitable. We did check with Aqua. We also checked with Pico. There is delinquent taxes for this home in the amount of $33,294. We also have liens on the home for $15,370. The home is as it sits today. You can look at that first photo there. And next slide is also pictures of the home and how it sits today. Next property will be 211 Blue Ridge Drive. This is another home that's been in and out of the Building and Planning Department for nuisance violations for the past couple of years. I have had no contact with the owner since we did sticker this home. We have had to maintain this home, as in we contracted out services to cut the property because no one has been. At this time frame, there is delinquent taxes for 24 in the amount of $5,851. And there's also liens on the property in about $2,000, but they are accruing, as I said, because we are maintaining the property. That's how the property sits today. Next slide as well, how the home sits today. Last property is 23 Yellowwood Drive. This property was in a fire a couple months ago. I don't know the exact date offhand. I can provide that if you guys need be. We stickered the home in September, had no contact with the owner since then. I did have one of our inspectors, Kevin Schuster, was also taking this home for multiple nuisance violations to court as well for not maintaining the home. We have had to contract out services again for this property, obviously because no one was maintaining the grass. Home has not done anything since. We have no delinquent taxes at this time, but liens are accruing. And as you can see, obviously the home is uninhabitable. And those are all the homes that we will be presenting tonight.
Thank you, Bob. Commissioners, you heard the presentations for these three properties concerning blighting. I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. The motion I'd like to make is I'd like to make a motion to recommend the council that the following properties to be moved forward with the blight process: 2307 Aracoba Street, Levittown, PA, 19007, TMP 05-040-311-001. Also 211 Blue Ridge Drive, Levittown, PA, 19057, TMP 05-025-186. And finally, 23 Yellowwood Drive, Levittown, PA, 19057, TMP 05-025-251.
Thank you, Commissioner. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved in second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bo.
The next item on our agenda is a subdivision land development. Paul Leinheiser, I hope I said that properly. 1122 Grebe Avenue, Bristol, tax parcel number 05-074-253, is requesting preliminary and final subdivision approval to subdivide into 2 lots and construct a SF dwelling at the above noted location with the R-2 residential zoning district. Good evening.
Good evening, Commission. Bryce McGuigan from Begley Carlin here on behalf of Paul Leinheiser this evening. Thank you.
Bryce.
Hello, long time no see.
I know.
Not used to this date of the month. It's a little weird, a little later than I'm used to here. But no, thank you for having us. Tonight we're here for the property located at 1122 Grebe Avenue. I'm here on behalf of Paul. I have Paul with me tonight, together with Chad Brensinger, who is the engineer on the project. Obviously, if there's any specific questions regarding the design or development aspects of the project, Chad will be happy to address those specifically once we get to that point in the presentation. But by way of background, the property at issue, like I mentioned, 1122 Grebe, it's a little over 1/4 of an acre in size, zoned residential. As existing, and this is actually, Bo, can you do me a favor and go to the next slide for me? Thank you so much. So, as existing, like I said, it's about 1/4 of an acre in size, standard rectangular lot. The existing home that's there is about an 850 square foot home with an almost 600 square foot garage to the rear. It is skewed to the far, basically north side of the lot. The plan today is to subdivide, cut the lot basically right in half, and build a single family home on the far other side of the parcel. We previously went to the zoning hearing board to request dimensional relief. Obviously, single family detached home is allowed in the R2, but even though what I would say is based upon the other homes in the area you see, the lot sizes are somewhat similar, the size of the home is similar, the orientation of the street is somewhat similar all around. Those are dimensional variances because of the district that we're in. So we received relief for lot area, for lot width, for setback, as well as for impervious surface relating to the existing home and improvements. We received that back in May of this year, and since that time, Paul, Chad, and our team submitted for preliminary and final subdivision, the plans that you have before you tonight. During that process, we received, obviously, the township engineer review letter. And actually, that spurred a few minor tweaks. Bo, can you do me a favor and switch back for me? All right, thank you very much. Last time I'm going to ask that. So this is the revised plan, and essentially the one main shift that you'll see immediately between this and the prior plan is we moved the house back. Because one of the comments in Kurt's letter was that, candidly, we were providing parking, but we were providing stacked parking on the lot. So the township requires side-by-side two off-street parking spaces. So in order to accommodate that, we slid the house back, and now we have a space for two side-by-side vehicles to park in the front of the lot. That does not require any sort of an impervious surface variance. We're still under on Lot 2 here to the right. Lot 1 here involves the existing improvements. But to briefly go through too, obviously this is going to be the proposed home. The setback is actually, we bettered that condition, although candidly it's not as in keeping with the community now because there's hardly any front yard setback anywhere you go along Grebe. But otherwise, it's still in keeping with everything that we received at the zoning hearing board. One thing I would also like to note is as far as stormwater management goes, we have our seepage bed to the rear here, and that is intentionally being over-designed. Because we are rather close to the impervious surface limit, the idea is to over-design the seepage beds so that in the future, if any future property owner wants to make any potential improvement to the property, whether it's a patio or whether they're looking for a shed or some sort of a garage, perhaps, maybe they have to go to the zoning hearing board, not sure, but at the very least, they won't have to tear up the site and make modifications to stormwater management. So that's the idea behind intentionally over-designing that. But with that said, we have received Kurt's letter, taken a look through it. Every item in that letter is now will comply with the exception of the variances or the waivers that we're requesting. As far as the waivers go, there are a total of 6 substantive waiver requests. Some of them do deal with numerous waiver or sections of the ordinance at issue, but for the same fundamental waiver request. I would be referencing Chad's October 29th, 2025 letter here, where we have 6 total requests. I'll be more than happy to go through those individually if the commission would like. Otherwise,
Would you please?
Perfect.
And mention the numbers of each one of the waivers.
not a problem. So the first one is from section 177-14E. This is for preliminary and final together. Obviously, in light of the limited nature of the project, we're seeking that waiver so that we don't have to take your time on 2 separate nights for a fairly straightforward project. The second waiver request is from 2 separate sections, but again, dealing with the same general idea. 177-91A1 and 177-92A1. This relates to plan details in terms of the drawing scale of the plan. Instead of 1 inch equals 50 feet or 100 feet, we're asking for a slightly different scale because, again, it's a smaller site and it would behoove everyone to be able to see what's going on. So that's the reason for that request. Third waiver request is a combination from 177-91C3 and 177-92C3, and this relates to providing certain plan details within 200 feet of the site. Again, because of the limited nature of the proposed improvements and the site itself, we're asking for that waiver, again, for simplicity's sake. The fourth waiver request is again from 2 separate sections, 177-51A and 177-93D7. This relates to street trees. Now, we're asking for a partial waiver in order to provide a couple of small trees that are not typical of the street trees within the ordinance instead of the 4 typical street trees that are required of this width development. And the reason being is there's utilities there on the site, and because of the fact it's so narrow and we have to provide these additional improvements and additional paving area, there simply isn't enough space. So we're trying to both blend with the neighborhood, also provide something that is akin to a street tree, but something that will work in light of the nature of the improvements, the size of the lot, and the existing utilities that are over the site. The fifth request is, again, another combination request from 177-35A and 177-45A, and this relates to a waiver to not provide curbing along the frontage. And again, this relates to an existing condition. There are no curbs presently here, no curbs presently along Grebe, and again, because of these existing conditions and the nature of the development, we're seeking the waivers related to curbing. The last waiver request is from 177-48D3, which involves making modifications to the site within 5 feet of the property line. Again, to enable stormwater management, and also because of the limited nature of the site, that Lot 2 specifically and Lot 1, they're each only 50 feet wide. Lot 1, there's no real improvements. We're removing a little bit of impervious, that's it. But Lot 2, in order to provide the stormwater management back here, and also some of the other modifications with respect to the driveway, those do get a little close to the property line. We are staying on our property, side of the property. We are going to make sure that's appropriately staked, so that way we don't have any sort of an unintentional incursion onto a neighboring property, but we're asking for this variance so that we can make better use of the limited size of the lot, or waiver, sorry.
waiver.
Been a long day.
Knew what you meant.
Pick it up what I'm putting down, I appreciate it. So with that, that's the full nature of the requested waivers this evening. Obviously, I have Chad here who designed the plans that you have before you. So to the extent where the commission has any questions or any points of clarification, we'll be more than happy to address those as necessary.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Commissioners, you heard the presentation. I would entertain a motion.
Real quick question before a motion. Kurt, are you good with the waivers in?
First, you do the motion, then second, and I'll say any questions or comments. That's when you do that.
Oh, I wanted to make sure he was good with it before I make the motion. Okay, I will make a motion for you, Bryce.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ooh, she got you.
Got me.
Okay. Any
Yeah,
comments or questions?
I'm confused. Aren't I supposed to read everything in my motion?
Well, yeah.
We're gonna start over, okay?
Because it's not the first
It's
Tuesday of the
turn-
month, it's just throwing everybody off. That's what it is.
Everybody's off today. I'm confused.
Veterans Day, give us a break. Turn the clock back. Okay, go ahead.
I'll make a motion for council to recommend to council to approve the subdivision and land development of Paul Leinheiser, 1122 Grebe Ave, Bristol, tax parcel number 05-074-253, requesting prelim and final subdivision approval to subdivide into 2 lots and construct an SF dwelling at the above noted location with the R2 residential zoning district, noting that the Gilmore and Associates letter dated October 10th, 2025 is a will comply, along with their revised plan letter from Charles S. Shoemaker, October 29th, 2025, also recommending the 6 waivers requested in the Charles E. Shoemaker letter for approval from council. Now you make it.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
It's been moved and second. Any comments or questions?
I have a couple questions of the applicant, if he doesn't mind answering a few. Thank you. Mr. Leinheiser, the plans say that they were prepared for you. Is that correct?
Correct.
Have you been provided a copy of the plans previously to tonight?
Correct.
And you've had a chance to review the plans?
Correct.
And you intend on constructing the improvements as shown on the plans?
Correct.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you gentlemen. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Having nothing else on our agenda, just a couple things. First of all, I want to make sure to wish everybody, both our viewing audience and those in attendance, a happy Thanksgiving. I also want to wish any veterans that are watching, we do honor all of our veterans. I'm a veteran myself, in the United States Marine Corps, which leads me into the next thing is yesterday was the 250th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. So if there's any Marines out there watching, hoorah. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to
Motion.
adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Welcome.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.